Hey, what it do, y'all? What's happening? What's going on? It's your boy Moose coming back at you again with another video. All right. And we got some things to discuss in this one. This is going to be a spicy ass video. So buckle up and get ready. All right. So I want to talk about a few things that's kind of trending, so to speak, on the internet, on the interwebs right now. And in case you ain't been living under a rock, there's this term going around currently that people are using called black fatigue. All right. And I just wanted to talk about this in a video because I think it's real interesting that people are speaking up and talking about this topic right now. Because for the longest time, between, you know, us people here in America, us black people, us black folks, and what we also would like to say, niggas, all right, there's sort of been a cultural divide between people, all right, and this has been discussed at length between people in the community, but it's something that's just becoming popular in white America, all right. So I wanted to discuss this term, man, because it's becoming so popular. People are talking about it, and it's really getting people riled up, and people are so confused, man, by the media. They're letting them lead them astray, and they're letting them be influenced by so much. They can't see that they're being confused and being led to slaughter, so to speak. All right. So I just wanted to discuss it, and I got some videos, some reactions, man, of people talking about it. So let's just hop right in, man. I'm not gonna talk too much further. Let's just hop right in and see what people are saying on the streets. All right.
Blackness fatigue is setting in. America is exhausted from dealing with the never-ending complaints and ingratitude of the black community. Black racism against whites and Asians has reached violent proportions, and with the help and funding of the Democrat Party, militant black racism is getting worse. Well, here's a wild Bill bullet of truth for America. White Americans are the least racist people in the USA, probably the whole world. We have been non-racist for the last 50 years, but today the Democrat Party is using racism as a political weapon, and white America is a...
See, that's the key, what he just said right there. The Democratic Party is using division to separate people. There's so much happening right now. Okay. People are being led astray. And the Democratic Party, man, they have so much to do with it. And so many people have been lied to. And it's sad, man. So he made a great point.
exhausted from dealing with blackness that has been coming against them day after day for years. White Americans who have never had a racist thought in their lives are tired of being constantly accused of racism. They're tired of being told that every problem in the black community is the fault of white people, that the massive failures of black cities and neighborhoods and families is our fault. This week, some fruitcake politician declared that blacks violently attacking Asians is caused by white people. No matter what white people do or say, they are slandered as villains by blacks who are determined to punish white Americans simply for being white. They are unappeasable. Now, millions of immigrants came here from England, Poland, Italy, South America, Vietnam, Russia. They came from all around the world, and they were dirt poor when they arrived. But they worked hard and became successful and rich and well-adjusted citizens. So why is it that the African community has remained in poverty for 150 years? We built nice new apartment buildings that quickly became high-crime ghettos. Want to get an education on what's happening in Black America? Get on the internet and type in brawls. Restaurant brawls, shopping center brawls, fast food brawls, and look at what you see in those videos. It's not the Germans or the Italians who are turning public places into savage mass fistfights. And it's not the Australians who are walking the streets looking to beat the hell out of some pedestrian simply for having white skin. And it's not the Vietnamese who are burning and looting American cities. And it's not the Russians who are fighting with and sometimes killing our police officers. But there are, of course, honorable and respectable men like Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and Dr. Ben Carson. These men are extremely successful and at the pinnacle of their possessions, but for some inexplicable reason, they are hated and ridiculed by the black community as if their success is somehow a betrayal of their race. Men like Carson and Thomas should be held up as role models and emulated, not hated and criticized. America is suffering from blackness fatigue, and that fatigue is slowly but surely becoming a boiling rage. Even the friendliest dog will bite if you kick him long enough, and that is where white America is today. There's a showdown coming. There's no more that we can give. We're done apologizing for imaginary violations, and we're done surrendering to black racism. There's a showdown coming, and it's going to get ugly. This is Wild Bill for America. Thank you for watching, and America bless.
Man, he said a lot of truth in that, man. I can't really disagree with anything he just said, and that's sad. You know, that's sad, man. All right, I got another video too I want to play for y'all, and this one, very similar sentiment. Okay, and people, they're getting fed up with this sort of attitude, that ignorant ghetto behavior, man. And a lot of black people are too. So, yeah, man. I think shit is just, it's real interesting right now. All right, y'all. So in this next video I got lined up, like I said, it's just another group of people who are voicing their opinion about what's currently happening. And look, like I said, that guy made a lot of great points. It's this Democratic Party. They're trying to divide us, man. It's this plan that they have to have everybody with very little and to have people all against each other, man. Divided, they fall. What is it? What's the saying? Divided they fall, united they stand, right? So that's what they're trying to do. Simple division. Let go.
To black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people. The claims of racism from sunup to sundown, loud talking, fighting, and the list goes on. Not my list now, keep that in mind. But some people are tired of the complaints and don't give a damn. Here's what one TikTok user had to say about it.
Not racist, and I know y'all been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. It's me, but me and other black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to. Y'all keep coddling black people.
All righty, are her feelings valid? Joining us to talk.
Dang, man, she trying to put black people on blast, hard body. People's not sitting here for this BS no more, man. People trying to wake up from this. Wake up. We gotta wake up, man. It's like we gotta develop that immigrant mentality. Why is it that the immigrants always come here and they always just start outshining everybody who are the Americans in school? It's because they didn't have shit. It's from people from all over the world, man. It's that third world mentality. That's what it is. We need to adopt it soon, man. I'm telling y'all.
Talk about it. Dr. Angela Jones, political analyst, Angela Box, activist, Eugene Howard, filmmaker Sean Welling, and conservative M. Williams. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Spectrum. First of all, let's define what Black fatigue is supposed to be, Dr. Jones.
Black fatigue is supposed to be just and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how Black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past on what's happening today. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well. As she said, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public. So that's basically the definition in a short sense.
Do we get anywhere with that, with this conversation?
No, this absolutely
Okay, good night, folks.
I mean, the thing is, it's an absolutely pointless conversation. It's like, okay, so now what? Thank you for letting us know that there's a new fancy word of you saying that you're tired of Black people, and you put it on the internet, and now people are co-signing on it, including with the way the environment is already. But it's okay. You put a nice new name to it, and now you feel like it's okay to say, and it's not going to do anything for anybody to now pander this term around, to pass it on in the internet and put it in people's mouth and make people feel encouraged to say, I have Black fatigue. But when we're all tired, when I'm saying, we're all tired of something and somewhere, there's always something. So this is not actually going to help anyone psychologically, mentally, emotionally. It's only going to create more divisiveness, more anger, and more hate in society.
And when we see a lot of people, especially Black people, joining that chorus, saying that I'm tired of Black people too, what will that do?
It's not going to do anything, because here's the thing, that Black person or the Black people that are on the internet saying that can go somewhere and they're going to be already stereotyped into the group that they're trying to separate themselves from just because they're Black. You actually have to be around people to see their behavior. You have to witness their behavior to actually understand who they are. But she could sit there and be in a crowd of a room of Black people, and guess who she's going to be included in that group as well. She's not doing anything that is going to help her or her race at this time.
No, I mean, I think she made a decent point where she said that, it's going to create just more division, just using that term, that term's not going to help anybody. So we really should try to eliminate that. But to not say it's not going to do anything, to not address it, that's completely missing the issue. This is based off how people are acting and behaving. And look, a lot of people come from different backgrounds, different places where they're raised, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, this is something that seems more systemic. It keeps happening. It's happening all over the U.S. It doesn't matter what city, what inner ghetto you're in. You can see videos online that this happened from here to Timbuktu, from here across the whole U.S. So it don't matter. It's not just something that that's just particular or pertain to one particular area. You know what I mean? It's so crazy to say that, but she isn't really right with her point. But she had one valid point, but she's missing the whole thing. I think she's missing the whole issue. Okay, and that's why a lot of Black people are in that situation. Okay, they don't understand. It sucks, and you got to have a different perspective.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this Black fatigue.
Well, with all due respect to Angela, number one, I really disagree with this. It is a completely behavior-based issue.
She said behavior. Yep. Man.
And when white people, Black people, Hispanic people are saying we have Black fatigue because of the behavior of some Black people, we've all seen it. We all know what it is. It's everywhere. And, the issue is way more insidious than people realize. And I talk about how a lot of these things come back to what the Democrat Party has done to the Black community purposefully, starting with the Great Society of Lyndon B. Johnson, who he famously said, I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. When Democrats said you don't need fathers in the home, you can be on welfare and have as many babies as you want. And oh, by the way, we're going to destroy public schools, and we're going to make sure that behavior standards are seen as racist. So the out of control behavior that we've seen in the classrooms, in society, all over, is part and parcel of what the Democrat Party has done to the black
All
community.
right, Eugene, let's hear from you before we have to take a break.
Man, why are we all? What does the Democrat Party have to do with black?
Everything.
Hold on. Okay.
All right, so oh my God, he just stepped off on the wrong foot. He just started off right on the wrong foot. He said, "What does the Democratic Party have to do with?" That's he has no knowledge, man. You got to be educated in that stuff. And no offense to him, maybe he's closed in his little bubble, and that's the problem, man. They try to keep people divided, and people don't do any real knowledge, and they don't do any real research or any digging in to find out kind of how maybe this kind of all started, and or at least the the behaviors and where it kind of traces back to, and seeing how influential the Democratic Party was way before any of us were here. A lot, like when our grandparents or like a lot of our ancestors were around, but we weren't. So we didn't see how things were really set up. We just have been told and read, and it's been documented. That's all. But this guy, I mean, let's see what else he's got to say. That's just, he started off on the wrong foot. That's all.
So I think he asked Eugene. So last time I checked, I'm Eugene on stage. So the Democratic Party has nothing to do with black fatigue. What the original term from the actual black community of black fatigue was after every other community decided to vote, since you want to talk politics, Donald Trump, then black folks said, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to let this thing burn down, and we're going to go have a good time because we're tired. We have been struggling. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents have been fighting this same fight. So if you guys want to turn out, and he said the N-word, why don't you guys feel so comfortable? Just say it. Just go ahead and say the N-word. We're if it's so okay, if you're so fatigued, if you don't want to recognize the civil rights plight, go ahead and say the N-word. No one's stopping you. It's a free country,
Not on
right?
this show, Eugene.
I mean, I'm just
You're about to
saying.
lose me my show.
But that's my point. It's a lot of things that they want to use code words, whether it's DEI, whether it's black fatigue. They just want to be able to say the N-word without being able to say the N-word.
So do you not find certain behaviors objectionable? Or you think it's cool?
Listen, I live in a rural community. I see a whole bunch of unruly white folks, Hispanic folks. So it's not just the black community, but we always want to emphasize on black when it's negative.
All right, we'll take a break there. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue our discussion after the break. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our discussion on black fatigue tonight.
I mean, he had a valid point as well, but then I still think he was wrong. He was misguided, I feel, because he's talking about, how it was voted on with Donald Trump. Look, Donald Trump is a completely divisive figure, but I think he's just a puppet. Like a lot of these politicians, left or right, we got to get off that. But that's another video for a different day. All right. But look, this whole thing is very confusing. But for him to say that, I don't agree with that either. But definitely, our ancestors definitely have endured. That's no lie on that. Okay. So we can't sit here and act like this issue is just black and white. This is a very great issue, and there's so much nuance involved, and it's just very difficult, But this is why people are in the situation they're in, man. It's just real sad. It's real sad. But let go.
Tonight, the feeling involves the stress that some black people deal with when it comes to constant exposure to racism. But there are people on both sides, and inside and outside the black community, who say they are tired of hearing about it. I guess they're back here on The Factor. Emenderlin, let's begin with you. As a conservative, your thoughts about black fatigue.
Well, whether you like black fatigue as a name or not, it's the truth. Like, we're tired of the victimhood mentality, the trauma identification, the need for external, agreement. That's ridiculous. That's terrible for the black community right now. That's terrible for the.
How do you cite your scopes without spending a dime on
ads, man?
Going to the range.
They need to make their money. I need to make my money too, man. Everybody got to pay bills.
Children growing up. I mean, there's so many broken homes, and I think that's the core foundation. Number one, I believe the core foundation is that the parents fail to not only unify the home, but also fail to
put true identity in God in the children. So if you don't have identity in God, you don't have identity at all. That's number one.
Do you at all see the Black community as a lost cause, or just some
Absolutely not.
individuals? What?
I don't believe the Black community is a lost cause at all. I just believe that we need to stop as a whole with all of this complaining. We need to move past the past and, you know, become better. You know, as an American, my parents were actually Nigerian. They came here in the 80s and they grew up here. They had me and my brothers, and we're all successful and not one complaint through our entire childhood. They said, work for what you need, work for what you're gonna get, and you will get it. God placed talent in all of us, Black, white, whatever you may, you know, call yourself, but God placed, you know, all of these great things within us. Why should I now say, oh, well, a white person thinks this of me, or there's racism here and there? I don't think about that. I don't wake up every morning and have racism and all of these negative things on my mind. I move forward, I move past that.
All right, Sean, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this conversation.
I think she made the most sense out of anybody on that panel so far, honestly. She really sounded really concise, and that's exactly the mentality that most, you know, Black people in this country should have, but they don't. But look, it's hard. Like I said, perspective is everything. She came from a different country. She said her parents were Nigerian. She had that immigrant mentality. Her and her brothers, you know, they all went to school. They all were successful. So it's like, look, you see that how many times over and over and over and over and over again. And it's the same story. These people coming from different countries. And then it's the people who are here in this country, their minds are messed up and warped. And that's the thing, man. This history's done damage to people. And that's why I'm saying it's a gray area. We can't neglect that as we talk about this either. We can't, because that'd just be, but like she said, we have to move past it and be better than that. And that's the thing that people have to come to realization with. But yeah, who's gonna do it for them? Let's go. I gotta get done with this video though.
And the term that we now hear.
And again, I was so taken by your speech. The term we're talking about is Black. What was it again? It's
fatigue.
Okay, so on Black fatigue, come from somebody, and I think I agree with her tremendously. Having a school for 3 decades, was the first hip-hop dance school in the country. It's a cancer to tell a young kid that they're oppressed, that they're less than, and the world's against them. Right from the beginning, you're setting the standard by which they have to overcome something, when really you need to put God in them and tell them how great things are for them.
Amen.
So I was never around Black who would complain. All the actors and dancers I was around, they had a sense of purpose. They were dynamic and they never complained. So to me, it's really what I get is in social media is a lot of white people complaining and creating this problem, saying, look, watch out, these people are in trouble. I'm like, back off. Mm-hmm. Let them create their own destiny.
Absolutely.
So I don't see that as being the Black issue. I see more of a liberal white situation when they're not even in a position to complain or talk about it. They're virtue signaling, and it drives us nuts.
Yeah, that's another issue too. It's the white people who don't even know that they're being racist, but they're trying to tell people that, hey, you should, you got to watch out for those, or no, basically they're saying that, you know, all these people, we got to make sure that they're under welfare and that they have this, that, and the third, that, and that they're in all these programs and making sure, oh, if there's no person in the home, that's racist. You know, like essentially it's kind of reverse racism in terms of kind of how they react to as well. You know, like these liberal Karens, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm the most liberal person in the world, but then they'll be the first person to call the police on somebody when it's not even an issue like that, you know, just over exaggeration and stuff. So that's a good point as well.
Dr. Jones?
You know, the conversation that we're having here is whether Black fatigue is a real thing. But the problem is that the reason this topic has come back up is because of the viral video that recently came out of the woman that called a 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word. Mm-hmm. And then she raised $700,000 by a Christian organization, and I am Christian as well, so I just want to put that out there as well. And she raised $300,000 from another organization. I don't know if she actually got that money, but then this video from the person who originally started putting this on TikTok came out in reference to that.
Yeah.
Now, I am a first generation American as well, and I was taught a certain way as well. But what we cannot ignore is the things that have set us back as a community. The reason we are not where we're supposed to be is because we are still only a couple of decades away from what we have been oppressed from and the things that we have gone
Constantly
from.
looking at the past.
My
Wait,
grand, I'm
really quick,
talking.
let
I'm
Dr.
talking.
Jones talk.
Okay. And so my grandmother, who just passed away last week, was there for civil rights, was there for everything like that. And I was there to see all of those things as well. It cannot be ignored that these things are still oppressing our community. I understand, and I actually agree. Like, I was instilled hard work, go to school, do what you're supposed to do. And I did, but I'm not going to sit there and ignore as though the people in my community, not everyone had that opportunity. So at the end of the day, to say like, yes, we're tired of it, but let's go in every community. We could sit there and say there's white fatigue, there's Hispanic fatigue, there's Asian fatigue, there's fatigue in everywhere. But the problem is that they're always emphasizing the Black community
Behavior.
as the behavior and every.
Nah. She was making a good point, and then she started talking about different fatigues and other races. That's not what it is. It's that's not what it is, and she misses that point as well. That's sad, man. That's sad. I'm gonna call it there because there was a lot of great points in that video. But look, I think it's important that everyone has a different perspective and they all can voice their opinion, and that's great, you know. But I think we have to realize that people are screwed up, man. A lot of people are messed up, but you have to try to pick yourself up. You have to try to work towards a greater goal. It works towards being a better person every day. Okay. If you're down and out and on your luck, you got it, and you're able-bodied. Okay. There's so many situations people ain't able to do things, but if you're able-bodied, you're able to not be homeless, you're still a relatively young person, you got to find a way out of that. You got to try to be more disciplined. You got to try to just be more regimented in certain ways. Have a schedule. Like, just start with little small things and build to greater goals. That's all I can really say as far as how people could try to do better. But yeah, man, people are messed up out here. But I'm going to be here sitting all day able to react to this because I'm not out there doing all that craziness. I'm just watching it from behind my camera. And yeah, truth hurts, but somebody got to talk about it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.